This is Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Unbeaten cruiserweight Ellis Zorro. Ellis, how are you?
Good, thanks. Just finished a hard day of training. So, yeah, fighting this Saturday. So, yeah, it's fight week.
Tell us about that training setup. I know you train out of the Peacock, but who do you work with predominantly, and who do you do the majority of your sparring with as well?
Main coach I say I would work with is Martin Bowers. I do a little bit with Ray. But to be honest, we all mix together. There's Andre, Eric, and Adam down there. But for me, main one is Martin. Majority of my sparring, sorry.
No worries.
Got me. I would say Dan Azeez. I do most of my sparring with Dan Azeez. We spar like once a week on a Friday. The last 2 weeks I've had Viddal Riley in, which has been good. Cruiserweight. He's fighting next week on the Boxer show. Had him yesterday and I had him last week. I have good amateurs in there. I have Tino, who just won the Londons over the weekend. I have a lot of guys. A lot of guys come to the gym to spar. So yeah.
Let's talk about those two guys you mentioned in turn, starting with Dan Azeez, of course, the British champion at light heavyweight. What's it like sparring someone not just of that quality, but also that much lighter? So I'm guessing there's a speed advantage on his part.
You know what? If I'm honest, I don't think when he's walking around, I stay on weight most of the time. I'm not a big cruiserweight. So even today, I'm 90.8 kilos. So when he's walking around, I don't think we're that far away from each other. He is sharp, but he's more strong and rugged. Does that make sense? Like, he can obviously box, but he's more strong and rugged. He's got probably the best engine I've ever encountered in the ring. So yeah, it's always good to work with Dan, to be honest. Yeah.
No chance of you moving down, I'm guessing. It's too big a drop from cruiser to light heavy.
You know what? My fourth professional fight, I actually tried to go down to light heavy for a 4-rounder. Yeah, and I made it to 81. And I looked the part, but I didn't feel the part. It was just too much. If there was an 86 or 85 kilos, I'd probably take it. But yeah,
so you're kind of caught in that trap.
Exactly, yeah.
And what about Viddal Riley? Because a lot of people know him as kind of social media personality and YouTube star, if you like. But he was a very good amateur. What's it been like sparring him?
Very good. You know, he's extremely sharp. Probably the sharpest cruiserweight I think I've sparred. Really nice guy as well. I was only saying to him yesterday, the spars that we had, it's like, I don't know if you've seen James, Tony and Mike McCallum. It's that kind of, it's like a real back and forth. So yeah, we've had some really good work, but I would say him and Isaac are the sharpest cruiserweights that I've ever sparred. Yeah.
Oh, you've worked with Isaac as well? Yeah,
a few years ago, not since I've been at the Peacock Gym, but yeah, a few years ago.
How do you find the Peacock now you've moved out into the sticks, if you like, obviously not in Canning Town anymore? Not having to kind of struggle for space with the keep fitters and stuff. But what's it like?
I was never at the old gym, to be honest. I was actually somewhere else. Yeah, but I know how the vibe was in Canning Town. But I enjoy the training. It's good to have, you know, we've got loads of boys down there. Louis Lynn, Chris Borg. There's a big group of us. So it helps everyone to motivate each other, if that makes sense.
Where were you before and how long have you been at the Peacock?
How long have I been at the Peacock? I've been at the Peacock about a year now. And before I was training in Bexley with Mickey Burke, which is at the Tour Gym, which is kind of linked with iBox and Al Smith a little bit over in Bromley. So I was there from my 5th professional fight to my 9th. I came to Peacock and Martin Bowers last year and I had one outing on BT Sport. Yeah.
So how did that come about? How did you link up with Martin and the Peacock?
Yeah. So I was with Steve Goodwin and I initially was looking for new management. So I went to Martin initially just for new management, but it made sense to have him as a trainer as well, especially with what was going on with Chris Borg and Denzel Bentley. Like, the gym was thriving at the time and I didn't want to be, you know, like out of sight, out of mind. Does that make sense? So I decided to not just move my management basis to Martin, but also to train there. So that's how it came about.
What differences do you feel that's made so far?
Training with those kind of guys.
Yeah. And under Martin and training alongside
there's nothing that I can say that Martin hasn't seen from a training perspective and a managerial perspective. And just to see how these guys like Denzel Bentley and even guys like Dan Azeez, I would never really have got to spar with Dan Azeez had I not been in this gym. Does that make sense? So seeing how these guys spar, how they prepare for training, just how they live a little bit, and just like little bits in conversation that you can pick up, like bits of advice, because that's obviously the next level for me, isn't it?
And you're fighting Saturday night in Brentwood, hoping to go to 11-0. From your 10 so far, you've got 5 inside the distance. Even given the kind of stage you're fighting at now, that's pretty impressive. Would you class yourself as a big puncher for the weight?
Yeah, I'm definitely heavy-handed. In my early career, so I had 3 amateur fights. I only had 3 amateur fights. So when I turned pro, I didn't know much about myself. I wasn't really interested in getting knockouts. I was actually trying to get rounds and just see what kind of fighter I was. When I joined Mickey Burke, I realized that I was a bit of a puncher. And that's when I started looking for knockouts, and even more now so that I'm fighting on TV, because it's the entertainment business, isn't it? But I am a boxer. I'm not very reckless. I'm quite cautious. I like to counter punch and I like to box and feel my opponent out. So I never forced a knockout, but I am quite heavy-handed, yeah.
And you mentioned about BT Sport. Are we likely to see you back on there or one of the other major platforms in the near future?
I'm hoping so. I haven't got a contract with them at the moment. I was mandatory for the Southern Area title, and we was looking to have that on there, but for no fault of my own, that fell through. So yeah, I'm just leaving all that to Martin. It's too much for me to focus on. Does that make sense? That's why I've came here, so that Martin can take care of all of that. After this one in February, this weekend, I've got one in March on a Probellum show, and just waiting for confirmation. So that's the 26th of March in Newcastle. Yeah.
So that's another option then, Probellum. Obviously, they're emerging onto the scene and signing up for a lot of people. That could be another possibility.
Yeah, but again, I just, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, so to speak. I just leave all that to Martin.
Well, he's very, very experienced. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly, yeah, that's it.
What are your kind of overall ambitions? I know most people say, I want to be a world champion, and maybe that's the same for you, but what are your main ambitions, or what were your ambitions when you first decided to turn pro?
When I first decided to turn pro, oh my Lord, I don't think I had any, if I'm honest. I ain't been riding it, but as I've gone on, I'm kind of feeling out like what I can do. But a lot of these guys like Richard Rackport, Isaac Chamberlain, who are kind of at the top of the division somewhat at the moment, I came up around them when I first started. So if they can reach this level, like I've sparred with them, I know what I can do. I know that I can reach that level too. So I haven't really set, and I'm not going to set myself, okay, I only want to get here. You understand? I'm just going to get the best out of myself. I'm a natural athlete. I'm heavy-handed. I haven't got miles on the clock. I'm sure I've got a good head on my shoulders. So yeah, the sky's the limit, really.
And do you work outside of boxing, or are you a full-time pro?
I'm full-time.
Oh, yeah. Wicked. Tell us a little bit about your life outside the gym. So have you got your own family? What do you do? What do you get up to?
So me and my dad have a jewelry shop in Dartford at the Priory Centre. Yeah, so that's kind of my work, if you like. But I sell shops, so I get to go in when I want to. Obviously, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and a family and a missus at home. So yeah.
Oh, wicked! Do you actually do some shifts in the jewelry shop?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, the way training's been recently, like I was meant to, obviously I fought in November, then I came out and I was meant to have a date in January, but all the dates in January got cancelled. So I've kind of just been in the gym recently a lot more. But my dad allows me, he helps me out. Does that make sense? Like he lets me come in when I can.
Free promo. What's the name of the shop?
It's Azel's Jewelers. Azel's Jewelers in Dartford in the Priory Centre. So yeah, but we're on Instagram at Azel's Jewelers, so check that out.
So it's a 10% discount for all seconds out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that.
Not on gold.
Yeah. All right. Before I let you go, just tell people out there how they can find you on the different social media platforms so they can keep up to date with what you're doing.
So I'm only on Instagram, and my Instagram is Ellis ELLIS_ZORRO. So that's Ellis_Zorro. So yeah, give me a follow, support my journey, and yeah.
Great stuff. All right. Well, best of luck on Saturday night in Brentwood. We'll be looking on, and yeah, let's do this again sometime soon.
100%. Cheers, Dan.